Right then, onto the Amarok. I weren't here yesterday when Owen started this, so I'm dropping in the middle, so we'll put a bit of time lapse of what he started doing. Basically, the main reason for taking this front bumper off, which this is the rival crazy zombie apocalypse bumper, this intercooler, which has got like it's like a full pigeon's died inside it, but this is the intercooler. We've changed it for the Wagner one that we do. But the reason we did that, when you're towing uphill, the temperature was starting to creep up a little bit on the coolant, which obviously, if you cool the air down a bit better, that should help the coolant. So, yeah, hopefully that works. We'll see, because we're towing again this weekend. But we also had these underbody protections. We've had these for absolutely ages and never fitted them. And we're not really planning on using this off-road, but if it ends up seeing a green lane, then it's definitely better having this. The only problem we have got is we've got a rear diff, which Owen's took it now. We had a rear diff cover, like a guard, but then this anti-roll bar gets in the way of it, which these anti-roll bars seem to get in the way of everything. They get in the way of exhaust, diff guards, everything. But I do prefer to have this on because this tows a lot nicer when it's got the anti-roll. Well, it feels a bit nicer when it's got all the weight in anyway. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about on this. I don't think there is. Just having a bit of general maintenance because we've used it a lot, towing that big stupid trailer. So yeah, make sure it's all right. We actually left the cars at the track this week, so we're only towing them back anyway, so it should be a nice throw four of us in this car, straight to the track, tow them back. So all the underbody protection, everything's on there. You can't really see much of it here, but hopefully the tank one that came, well, the wrong one, we'll get that sorted. Diff, just going to leave that for now. Another job that got done while there were no cameras anywhere near, don't know why, were these bonnet lifters. I think these are the rival ones. These are the listed on website as well. Makes a big difference. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it on one of the videos, but we had a little bit of a squeak coming from the front of this. So basically, we've swapped the belt, which genuine, looked in decent nick, but we swapped the belt. Owen did me a little drawing and how it all worked. And then we swapped the tensioner and all the pulleys, and the squeak's gone now, so that's pretty good. So they can go in the bin. So, general maintenance, we've got a couple more jobs to do on this, but they're a little bit more involved what we need to do next. We've got the rear air assist and like an automatic one, and we've got the front diff drop to do as well, so I want to try and get them sorted sooner rather than later, but we've got like 4 weeks after this weekend where we're not doing any racing, so we've got time to kill it and we don't need it, so we'll see. We've got the new tank guard because we were missing these brackets with this one, so this one's going on another customer's job anyway, so it doesn't really matter, not a big deal. So he's going to get that fitted, and that'll finalise all the under trays and everything that we'd put on. We've not managed to get the rear diff one to fit because the anti-roll bar gets in the way, but anyway, that's that. So the other thing that we've got going on, it's all mixed up here. I'll just move it across, out of the way. But basically, this here, we got it from Australia, from these guys, but for some reason, they don't answer us emails anymore, so we might, if anybody else wants one of these, have to knock something up, but the whole idea of buying one was so we didn't have to mess about, but if we have to mess about, we do. So what this is a diff drop kit. Obviously, when you lift the front of your vehicle, the dry shafts drop, and then you end up where you're either maxing them out on the plunge, or plunge extension, whatever you want to call it, or you're actually maxing out on the angle, which will damage them eventually. And when this has got a big trailer on, fully loaded in the back, and you're going up a bit of a hill, and you put your foot down, when the back squats down, you can hear the front dry shafts clicking, so they're not going to last forever. So he's going to get that installed, which doesn't look easy, but don't look too hard. And then the other thing, we've already got the air ride kit on this, but then this here is a little, that plugs into the SIG light and tells you what pressures these Chinese things are telling you. But basically, this is sort of going to be a bit of an easier to adjust and easier to measure kit than the fully automated one that we fitted to previous vehicles. I don't like the idea that when you've got a ton in the back and probably 150 kilos of nose weight on the trailer, that you're trying to pump the rear of the car back up to level. I think you should just put enough pressure in that it feels right, not 100 psi and then it be bouncing about all. So this is my preferred one. We'll see how much quicker it is to fit, or how much easier it is to fit than the fully automated one, because that did take a long time, but we shall see. So Levo into these, he's going to record what he can record, and we'll go from there. So, Owen's got the air ride all sorted, the diff drops on, really happy with the dry shaft angles. I've probably realised that Danny didn't take a picture or get a video of the dry shaft angles before, but to say how much you're dropping the diff down, the angle of the dry shaft, tons better, really happy with that. Not sure if we've got a video of the noise this one making before as well, but it won't do it now anyway, I'm pretty sure. So, The tank guard's on as well, which that's a good idea to have. It'd probably help me when we're out on the trails, but one thing I did notice when we were towing the Touareg back, it had a really horrible noise from the rear. It sounded like the prop shaft were binding up on its end, which then when I got back, I realised Owen had left this with 0 air pressure in, but the battery on this weren't working for some reason. But anyway, as you can see, this is flashing now because there's 0 pressure in the airbags. So what we've done, we've fitted the little paddles here. So this is not automatic like the other kit that we do, but basically just that's to let it down, then to put some in. And once you get to half a bar, there, that stopped flashing. Once you get to half a bar, you should leave at least half a bar in these at all times. So that take a little bit of time to there, a little bit more in. So that literally now acts as a bump stop because you remove the bump stops to get the airbags in. So that won't allow it to completely compress. Which when I were cross axling to try and get the Touareg pulled out, the axle had gone all the way up, and that puts a bit of strain on the prop shaft. So make sure it's got half a bar in at all times. The reason we went for this, I'm not sure I've mentioned it already, it was a while back, but I wanted to have this kit because the pickups have always got a higher back anyway. I didn't like the self-leveling kit because when you put a load of weight in the back, it should squash down, especially when you've got the trailer on. You want it to squash down a little bit, because if it remains jacked up, which I've tried it as well, I put a couple of bar in this and drove it with a trailer on, and just letting that pressure out made the trailer so much more stable because it's actually pushing down on the back of the pickup. You want to be pretty much level, maybe even a tiny bit back down, but obviously when the diff's not dropped and you've got the big lift kit on and you're maxing the CVs out, you don't want it pushing the back down. So there's a compromise all round, but I like how we've got the control of this. It's a bit of manual intervention, but if I'm going down the motorway and I start snaking a bit, I can just let the pressure out and that should help it a bit. Obviously not while it's snaking, concentrate on driving. And then if I can feel it bouncing a little bit, I can just lean over, put a bit more pressure in, and away you go. With the self-leveling kit or the fully manual kit, you've not got that option because your self-leveling is just going to keep pumping it up and get it to where you set it, and the full manual kit you're going to have to get out and put a compressor on there. So they've all got the positives and the negatives. I think this is a nice in-between. The fitment, I'd have to double check with Owen. It's probably not far off as much fitment as the fully automatic kit, but that needs a bit of testing. So it's as long as it is short. But basically all these air ride kits, if you go for anything other than the manual one, have got a cost associated with them. So yeah, this, happy with the kit, happy with the install, not really taking up too much space in the centre. We've still got the electronic handbrake sort out, but this is not the final switch that we're going to be using, so that'll get neatened up. And then I think, other than cleaning it and a set of brakes, this project is as near to what you can call finished as any project can be. So we'll see. There might be another video, you never know.